Palm Beach, Lake Worth, Boca Raton, Delray, and all of the Palm Beaches. Always raw, always real.
When it's never quit. Yeah. Yeah. My mic on? They say, stoop kid, you afraid of Lee and stoop. But I got this beat in my headphones playing on the loop. Working on my craft, get it in with my rhyme pad. Teachers thought I was dumb, didn't know where my mind at. It was all I had, sports didn't provide a creative outlet for me to show what's inside. I can't even lie, since 12 I wanna die. But this music keeps it going and I don't know why. But I think I got my explanation. Soon as I started writing to make a real statement, all of a sudden I gained a reputation, and I could be somebody that would uplift the nation. Yeah, and that feels like gold. I care for how many I help, not how many I sold. And those messages mean more to me than you. So if I'm saving you, just know you're saving me too. This ain't for the radio, this ain't for the clubs, this is for you. You showing love, this ain't for the labels, this ain't for the price, this is for the fight. And never giving up your life.
What up, what up? Welcome to Shattering the Stigma. FHF family here.
What's up, everybody?
Hey, yo!
So, first of all, 954-524-8000 is the number to call in. We'd love to have you call in today. We're going to be talking with Robin on a lot of things that veterans go through. And then we have a special guest, Crystal Ortle, calling in, and she's always got some exciting news to talk about. You can find us 96.1 FM from Pompano to West Palm, from 97.5 FM from West Palm to Jupiter, 1340 AM throughout Palm Beach County, and live on Facebook at recoveryradio.fm and on the net at recoveryradio.fm. So, with me today, of course, is Frankie.
We got Robin Higginbotham.
Higgy.
And, of course, Silverback.
Howdy. Steve-O Rona.
So, Robin.
Hi, Alicia.
Hi, Robin. Robin's part of our family. You've been for what?
3 years now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
We randomly hooked up. No, hooked up doesn't sound good, does it? We didn't randomly hook up. He randomly reached out on Facebook, and we started talking back 3 years ago. We decided to meet up. Frankie, he and I met up at a Starbucks in Lake Worth.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
And we've been family since.
Ever since. Yep.
Ever since. He went back to Ohio, back here in Florida, living full-time. But, you know, one thing unique about Robin is Robin loves to do live videos.
Yes, ma'am.
Robin loves to... I think in his past life he was a announcer or...
an anchorman.
Yeah, that's what it is. He was an
Robin
anchorman.
Higginbotham here at NBC 12 News.
I met a Robin with the sports.
He's always trying to put a microphone in someone's face.
Or I'm snapping pictures of somebody.
Yeah. So that
James calls me the photo burglar.
the photo. That's a good name for you. But share a little bit about us. What we'll do until Crystal calls is, you know, just talk a little bit about who is Robin.
Well, first off, my name is Robin Higginbotham. I'm from Ohio. Proud Buckeye fan. Who is Robin? I'm a grateful and recovering drug addict and alcoholic. And I want to let you guys know it's an honor and a privilege to be here with you guys. You guys have been family to me. Been estranged from my immediate family for quite a number of years, and you guys filled the void for me in many areas. And I definitely wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys on multiple levels. You've been a mentor to me, for real, from the get-go, and I've learned a lot. Everything I am today as a recovery advocate is from the time you spent with me. I appreciate that. I love you.
Love you
We
too,
love
man.
you too, buddy.
Yeah, I'm a military veteran. I'm from the Persian Gulf era. My job was aviation bosun's mate aircraft handler. And if you've ever seen Top Gun, the scenes on the flight deck, the guys directing the aircraft, that's me. That was me. Very stressful job.
The guys with the earmuffs on. And,
yeah, it's me. Yeah, Mickey Mouse ears, just like these.
Yeah.
But yeah, so at that time it was number 2 stressful job in the world. Underneath the what do you call those air traffic controllers? A lot of stress. Very very dangerous. I've seen a lot of traumatic things on the flight deck of an aircraft carrier. People jumping, getting a Dear John letter from their girlfriend back home, taking swan dive off of 15 stories above the water.
Wow.
People, I never seen anybody sucked into a turbine, but I've seen very close. And I've been blown nearly off the deck myself. So very very dangerous job.
Very.
Yeah, I've been a recovery advocate for about 3 years, man, and it's been an honor and a privilege to work with everyone. And I've been affiliated solely with the F Heroin Foundation. Caught myself using
Seen you hit those brakes.
my PG language tonight. Everybody knows I use the F word frequently. But yeah, I'm very grateful to be here. I shouldn't be on many levels, I've been a drug addict and alcoholic since early age, and I learned from a very early age how to manipulate my feelings and my state of mind through substances, and being introduced to alcohol at a very young age at family get-togethers. I associated drinking alcohol with having fun, and I loved the taste of it, loved the effect, and my family members were too busy drinking to pay attention to what I was doing.
How old do you think you were when you had your first drink?
Honestly, probably about 3 years old. I was able to walk underneath a card table and reach up and swipe people's drinks and stuff.
I can remember every year we would go to my great aunt's, and she would have a punch bowl for the kids and a punch bowl for the adults, and there was fruit in the punch bowl for the adults, and we were young, and we would be eating these oranges and all the fruit out of there, and none of us ever put together. We would have this horrible headache the next day, and no one was ever putting together that we were eating this fruit.
You were such good children.
Exactly, so it's kind of funny as a kid, but I don't remember this. Well, I guess it didn't have taste. It was fruit, but
Right. Yeah.
it's interesting that you liked the taste at that young age.
Yeah, I've always had an affection for beer, different types of beer. Hard liquor always got me into trouble. I always end up naked in the bushes somewhere, wearing a cowboy hat.
At least you had a hat.
Right. But I don't know. The drugs have always been a problem for me, and it started out as a coping mechanism because I was always filled with fear. I had a disruptive home life, dysfunctional to say the least, and I used those different substances to escape and feel better about myself, and that led me on a path to destructive self-behaviors, and it gave me comfort, and as through the years, it didn't work so well for me, and it quit working for a long time, but it was so ingrained in me that I continued to do that because I was always trying to get that feeling that I initially felt, chasing the dragon is what some people call it, you know what I mean? And I always held out hope in the back of my mind that I could use successfully, and I never could, ever. And I've tried to manipulate it every which way I could to get back to that point where it was enjoyable. but it never worked, and I relapsed multiple times. I came to recovery late in life. Ended up in prison because of my antisocial behaviors, criminal, acts and whatnot. Never been a bad guy. Never physically hurt anyone, but the damage that I have caused is a lot of collateral damage. I created a ripple effect in other people's lives, and I let down a lot of people that expected more of me, and I let down myself mostly because I knew I was capable of doing more.
How much of I know you said you started at a young age, experimenting in that. Were you at the level of using drugs before you went into the service, or is that something that came after?
Yeah, I was smoking weed by the time I was 11 or 12, doing acid by 13, 14. And I didn't move past that until like 19 or 20. I started experimenting with cocaine, and that quickly progressed to crack cocaine, which ruined my life. It just sucked me in. It's a horrible addiction to have.
When you went into the military, was it kind of like, did you look at it maybe like, well, I'm going to go into basic training and get a fresh start at life, get healthy, and did you think maybe like that was kind of like a way out for what you were doing? Or
Definitely. I've been a runner my whole life. I'd run from one place to another, person to person, place to place, trying to just basically doing the geographical relocation, and always, holding out hope that something would be different. But every time I went somewhere, I took my behaviors with me.
There you were, huh?
Yeah, everywhere I go, there I am. So yeah.
Do you think that a lot of people talk about, especially if you've been in the military and stuff, a lot of PTSD and things that go on. How do you feel that impacted, or how it impacts others that were in the military with things they saw and went on? Do you think that impacts?
Yeah, definitely, because post-traumatic stress disorder is a horrible thing to have to deal with, because you have flashbacks, startle reflex, nightmares. Nightmares have been hugely affect my life and my sleeping patterns. People that suffer from PTSD are really underestimated, because the people that have it, unless they're diagnosed, don't really know what they're dealing with, or how to cope with it. So when those emotional times come, or those flashbacks, we seek to self-medicate. And for me, I've self-medicated my whole life as like I said, a coping tool. But people think of veterans with PTSD as homeless people on the street, living under bridges by the rivers, whatever, which is the case in some places. Yeah. But there are others that are semi-functioning in society and very functional. They may hold a job, but their home life is horrific. Yeah, turmoil. Just trying to find the right word.
I know there's so much controversy and it's so unfair that all the things that people, protect our country, go and do, and then they come back and, have a hard time getting a job, or they don't help them with things, or, if they do have PTSD or something.
They're underserved for real.
Yeah, they come back and they just kind of throw them right back into the world, right, and just kind of overlook everything.
Even when you go to prison and you come out, there are reentry programs,
right,
to reintegrate you back into society. Well, there's nothing like that for combat veterans coming back that have seen horrific things, events or whatever, and it's not just one; it's repetitively. So, and when that happens, it's called complex PTSD, which is consistent exposure to traumatic events, which is harder to deal with, but it can be.
I know that, and I don't know if you remember this, Frankie. They used to live on Madison down the street. He was part of the owner, Bob, I think was his name, part owner of the health club. He used to be a bodybuilder, and he was John's dad's best friend. And you guys would go fishing with him. You were young.
Yeah.
But
shout out.
he was a prisoner of war.
Wow.
And I remember we were all out on a boat fishing, and I had never witnessed anything like this. He was going to do whatever he had, putting his bait on or whatever, but we had, a cooler that had sandwiches and different things in it. And
Oh wait, I think I know. It was a friend of mine's dad, though, wasn't it?
it was his dad's friend too.
Yeah.
But the sandwich fell in the stuff with the worms and everything, and the dirt got on it, and it was just like almost like something took over his body. The way he just like grabbed it and started shoveling it in his mouth,
man.
and it was like, none of us knew what to say or anything, and it was probably, I'm going to say, a good year later that I was like, kind of tried to ask him, and he was like, they would just throw food into us, and it would hit the ground when he was a prisoner. They were trying to keep it not dirty, and that put him in that
Just seeing the
flashback.
dirt on the
the
definitely.
dirt on that sandwich. But it was just like, and that was just something small. You know what I mean? That I witnessed. So I can't imagine.
Triggers can come in many different forms, and if the people around them don't know that he has those issues, it could be triggered at any time by a sound,
Yeah.
a smell.
Yeah. I'm glad you brought that up. People, even, especially in addiction and things like that, people don't realize how impactful your senses are. And, here, I'm just going to make up an example to say what I'm meaning. As an addict, for me, whenever I smell coffee and toast, it puts me at my Nana and Papa's.
Definitely.
It just, how
Oh,
certain
yeah.
smells put you somewhere right away. So an example of things that I'm talking about would be, let's say you're having a really bad day and you're on your way to a meeting and you decide to stop at the mall on the way to the meeting, and you're walking past, you're in one of the stores and you're walking past and their colognes are there.
Definitely.
And all of a sudden you get this crazy sensation, and it could be your dealer maybe wears that cologne. You know what I mean? Your mind doesn't slow down and say, dude, you know what? That's what so-and-so wears. And your brain doesn't work like that slow put together, but that made you weak for a second. And so then if you're walking a little bit more and, alcohol, rubbing alcohol, the smell of rubbing alcohol can be a trigger to some people.
Definitely.
A certain song can be a trigger, but, if a lot of those things are happening at once and you're having a bad moment, a lot of times that pushes a person over the edge. Your senses can push you over the edge with all these little triggers that you don't always know are going on.
Sensory perceptions, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with the whole sensory thing. When it's odd because like if I'm behind a bus, if I'm driving behind a bus and I smell bus exhaust.
I know, you're sticking your head out the window, smelling the fume.
It makes me tingle. I'm thrown back to I'm like 4 or 5 up in upstate in New York, at a period when my parents were at each other's throats the worst.
Yeah.
And it's like a bit of an anxiety, little rush.
And you associate that with the smell of...
I associate that because my mother, for a long time, we didn't have a car.
Okay.
And we were always going places on bus or walking down
I
to get
didn't know
the
if
bus.
it was a sound that you were
No,
associating or
it's the smell of bus exhaust. It just throws me back to 5, 6 years old.
You find yourself daydreaming about it and reliving certain
Oh
things.
yeah. Yeah, I can hear the arguments. I can see, the fights.
Yeah, I have friends that you can tell by the look on their face that something's triggered them because they have that 1,000-mile stare in their eyes, and they're whatever they're thinking about, they're there at that point,
Right.
And they might move around or whatever, and I know enough not to shake
Yeah, you're
them,
not
whatever.
supposed to
You
disturb
start
them.
talking to them, soothing, let them know they know where they are. I'm not really that experienced in it, but I know it's not good to startle them.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So when you came back, after serving?
I separated from the military, developed a respiratory condition on the flight deck, breathing aircraft fumes. And when I came back, I really...
Bus fumes?
Bus fumes, aircraft fumes.
Very similar fuels. JP4.
JP3, yeah.
JP3.
Yeah, and when I smell fumes, I think of jets.
Yeah,
So, but I was fortunate enough to have taken a leave of absence from a job in a steel factory back in my home. So I had a job waiting for me, but I had adopted a lifestyle, in the military. People in the military are known as hard drinkers, and whatnot, whatever they can get away with. But I just kind of continued where I left off when I ran away the first time. I just fell back into that pattern with same people doing the same things, because they never left. They were still doing the same things when I came home.
Let me ask you a question. When you came home, did you feel like there was going to be like a kind of like a grand welcoming? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you were like going to be recognized as like,
And it happens.
Because it's kind of messed up though, because what I mean? Like you go give all this time, you risk your life, you come home, and it's just like you get there and
yeah,
it was
a major letdown. I had expectations on the what do you call it, ticker tape parades.
Yeah.
Hey, welcome home.
We've got a caller on the phone. Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Hi. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. Who's calling in?
My name's Sierra.
Hi, Sierra. This is
how
Mama
you doing,
Dukes.
Sierra?
Hi, how are you?
Good. What's going on?
Well, like I said, my name's Sierra. I am a recovering addict. I actually live in Chillicothe, Ohio.
Nice.
Seatown.
House. What is it?
I was in prison in Chillicothe.
We're all from Ohio,
Yeah.
except for the Silverback.
Were you at CCI or CI?
CCI. Yeah, the big yard.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm in a transitional living house. It's called Cheryl's House of Hope, and we seen that it came up on the internet. And, I didn't know if you guys had any questions, and I wanted to bring awareness. There's actually a town hall meeting that we're going to be having in Chillicothe, Ohio, well, here. But I just came back from a relapse. All of my friends are dying in my hometown. I just got news that 2 of my friends just died here recently within the past couple days, and this epidemic's getting pretty crazy.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
I'm
it is.
sorry
I'm
about
sorry
you.
to hear that, Sierra.
When is your meeting that you're having?
It is March 20th.
And what's the time and location, so people in that area, if they want to come, get some awareness and whatever you're going to be doing?
It's at 5:00 p.m. And Sheila Ray Charles is the guest speaker, and it is at the library, the main library.
Okay.
On Pink Street.
So you hear that out there, Chillicothe? Take advantage of going and getting a little education, and God knows the whole country, there's not enough that we can be educated on with this.
Definitely.
These small
if you're
communities
in the
need
area.
to come together and support the recovery movement and support this cause especially.
And if you're listening and you go, invite somebody that normally wouldn't go, because it's, we need to get the message out there. So thank you. And if you're in Chillicothe, please go check that out.
Thanks for calling.
Thank you.
So that's awesome. Chillicothe.
Yeah.
I'm trying to picture.
I'm from the town of Hicksville, Ohio, so if anybody out there from Hicksville is listening to me.
Oh, first time you said that, and I'm from Ohio.
Robin Higginbotham from
I was
Hicksville,
sure
Ohio.
he was making all that up. It's just
True story.
Too much. Hicksville.
It's too much to make up.
Higginbotham.
Doesn't sound like it's exactly a bustling metropolis.
Dr. Higginbotham. My name is British, by the way. throw a Robin in on top of it. My life's like a Johnny Cash song, A Boy Named Sue. Finding the blood in the beer.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of things coming up in this coming month in March.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of things towards the end of
Ohio needs all the help that we can give them, man.
Yeah, there's the number of overdoses that it's increasing, and now they're finding the fentanyl in weed.
And the weed.
In weed.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And cocaine.
And in cocaine.
Yeah,
what a ride that must be.
Horrible. Horrible.
Yeah, I guess, where was it?
No,
No,
it started with a P. Hold on.
Portsmouth, I think it was, three overdoses in like 2 hours from people just smoking weed. Yeah. And it was, but the Narcan reversed it, and yeah.
If I did that, I'd be looking out the peephole eating pizza.
I know that
window peeking.
I said a long time ago, the next world war is not going to be guns and armies.
No.
This is it, guys. It's going to continue to get worse.
Chemical warfare.
This is internal terrorism in my
this is domestic terrorism.
You know,
we're getting ready to go to break. When we come back, we'll have Crystal with us, 954-524-8000. Please call in with any questions. 96.1 FM from Pompano to West Palm, 97.5 FM West Palm to Jupiter, 1340 AM throughout Palm Beach County, and find us Facebook at recoveryradio.fm and on F Heroin Foundation. We'll be back.
I see my mama's eyes, my baby girl at work. I told my mama tell her bye, tell her that I love her. And just because I'm gone, that don't mean that I'm dead. Cause life goes on, let me give my son a kiss before I leave home. Tell him be a good boy, be strong for your mom. You the man of the house, boy listen here, make daddy proud. I hang my head down, walk to the car, and then I turn around like choices that we make, gotta live with that. Consequences that we face, I gotta live with it. The risks that we take, gotta live with it. I do it every day. It's the choices that we make, I gotta live with it. Consequences that we face, I gotta live with it. The risks that we take, gotta live with it. I do it every day. My brother came home, he was in a bad mood. His job slowing down, he don't know what to do. Plus he had a baby, she was only 2, and I was 18, fresh out of school. We got into a fight, and it was pretty bad. In the middle of the night, he packed all his bags. I never said a word, he walked out the door, never to return. The very next morning, my mama got a phone call, I'm sorry to inform you, but your oldest son died. He was shot in the head, he was there when we arrived. My mama on her knees praying to the Lord above us. I really can't believe I lost my big brother. I never said goodbye, I never told him sorry. Lord, tell me why. It's the choices that we make, gotta live with that. Consequences that we face, I gotta live with it. The risks that we take, gotta live with it. I do it every day. It's the choices that we make, I gotta live with it. Consequences that we face, I gotta live with it. The risks that we take, gotta live with it. I do it every day. At a party with my girl, we out kinda late. Tonight's her birthday, so we had to celebrate. I buy another drink right before we leave. As we walk out the door, she hands me the key. It's getting kinda blurry, so I slow down, but my baby says hurry. I had a bad feeling, I woke up on the road, can't believe what I'm seeing. Cause that's my girl, she's my life, my whole world, soon to be wife. Blood all around and my girl ain't moving. I'm crawling on the ground screaming, baby don't lose it. Baby hold on, yeah I'm right here. But as I get closer, it becomes clear. It's the choices that we make, gotta live with that. Consequences that we face, I gotta live with it. The risks that we take, gotta live with it.
Technology is making the things around us smarter than ever before. It's making our day-to-day easier. And now, what powers those things is Smart 2. With the smart technology behind FPL's online energy dashboard, you can keep track of your energy use. And when you take the free online home energy survey, you'll see where you're using the most energy and find smart, new ways to save up to $250 a year. Visit fpl.com/easy to save and learn how to make your bill even lower.
Hey guys, James Sweezy here. Real quick, if you're experiencing daily fatigue or having trouble sleeping, I found a product that was designed to help improve symptoms associated with post-acute withdrawal syndrome. TheLiquidRecovery.com provides supplements designed by people in recovery for people in recovery. The AM formula helps to improve energy and supports natural relief from brain fog. The PM formula helps support natural sleep so you can fall asleep and stay asleep, and it helps reduce feelings of anxiety or irritability. The folks at theliquidrecovery.com want to be clear that this product will not get you clean and sober. It's simply another tool for your toolbox to help combat fatigue and sleeplessness. Order now at www.theliquidrecovery.com and be sure to enter the discount code RADIO for free shipping. That's www.theliquidrecovery.com. James Sweezy, I'm out.
Go. This is a world premiere exclusive.
Can you have it, baby?
And don't forget who played it first.
When it's never quit. Yeah. Yeah. My mic on? They say, stoop kid, you afraid to leave your stoop. But I got this beat in my headphones playing on the loop. Working on my craft, get it in with my rhyme pad. Teachers thought I was dumb, didn't know where my mind at. It was all I had, sports didn't provide a creative outlet for me to show what's inside. I can't even lie, since 12 I wanna die. But this music keeps it going and I don't know why. But I think I got my explanation. Soon as I started writing to make a real statement, all of a sudden I gained a reputation, and I could be somebody that would uplift the nation. Yeah, and that feels like gold. I care for how many I help, not how many I sold. And those messages mean more to me than you. So if I'm saving you, just know you're saving me too. This ain't for the radio, this ain't for the clubs, this is for you. You showing love, this ain't for the labels, this ain't for the price, this is for the fight. And never giving up your life, and you can't keep it down, no matter what they say. Tomorrow gonna be better, just don't give up today. So it's up to you, is you gon' sink or you gon' swim? Cause when it's never quit, and quit is never win. When it's never take a day off, we go all in. Put in work, walk the walk, no talking. Everybody talks about what they gonna do, but it's funny cause they never do it in front of you. You won't get anywhere by comparing yourself to them. Your journey is your journey, don't worry about the win. Handle the how, do it now, and you'll see you'll get where you wanna be automatically. Handle your business with integrity, and if you don't believe in it, decline it respectfully. I know a few never bees and some has-beens who couldn't follow the heart, and it all passed them. I'm not worried about the progress, I'm focused on my growth. And if I ain't right, then I can't help us both. So I'm gonna build with my team, and when we're finally done, it's gonna be a platform for everyone. This ain't for the radio, this ain't for the clubs, this is for you. You showing love, this ain't for the labels, this ain't for the price, this is
Welcome back to Shattering the Stigma.
What's up? Welcome back, everybody.
That was
Welcome.
just Tilo. We love us some Tilo. And prior to that, Gotta Live With That, New Breed. So, love the music, guys.
Yo, Tilo.
Great music. Great music. So, 954-524-8000. Call in with questions. 96.1 FM from Pompano to West Palm. 97.5 from West Palm to Jupiter. 1340 AM throughout Palm Beach County. Facebook at recoveryradio.fm and on the net at recoveryradio.fm, as well as F blank 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 Heroin Foundation on Facebook. So before we left for break, we've got Robin Hickenbotham with us.
Hi, everybody. Hey, before we continue with the show, I want to...
Oh, you want to say that now? Okay.
If it's okay. I want to give a shout-out to my son, Ryan Higginbotham, out there. I love you, buddy. I'd also like to give a shout-out to his mom, Laura Smith, and thank her for taking responsibility and raising a fine young man that we have as a son, because part of my using and stuff, I was a deadbeat dad. You know, I involved in my drug addiction. I ran across country and just disappeared into the whole drug scene and didn't handle my responsibilities. And I wanted to thank her publicly for raising our son. You know, he wouldn't be the man he is today without her. And I made amends to her in the form of letters and phone calls, but those are only words. I wanted to know I'm, you know, putting this into action. You know, changing my life. Action is the best way to show that you're apologetic to someone.
Yes, it is.
I think that's one of the best things too, is we get to actually see you put this into action every day. You know?
Definitely.
So we have Crystal on the phone. Crystal.
Hi, Crystal.
Hi. Hey, Crystal.
Crystal Ordle, our Ohio beauty. How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Buckeye born and bred.
We're real good, real good. So we get to do a lot of events. Well, not as many as I'd like, but we get to do a lot of events together. And
yeah, we're going to be seeing you soon, Crystal.
But
yes, I can't wait.
I know. God, it's going to be a busy day on the 25th. We're going to be everywhere.
Yes, ma'am.
But tell us a little bit about Crystal. Who is Crystal, and why does Crystal do what she does?
Well, I am a recovering heroin addict, and I don't know, I just sort of fell into this advocacy thing on accident. It wasn't anything I intended on doing, but I don't know, it just happened, and it's been something that's really close to my heart, is telling my story and putting it out there and not being ashamed, not being afraid, just saying it, you know. I'm a drug addict in recovery, and if it helps somebody to hear me say that and it inspires them to get help, that's all I'm about.
You've had some pretty exciting things go on. Not everybody gets to go sit with the president and tell him what they think should go on. Tell us a little bit. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I did a TED Talk, and CNN saw that, asked me to CNN, and then from there, I just, you know, someone from the White House called me one day.
Did you think it was a prank call at first?
I did. I really did.
I would too.
Been punked.
When I got off the phone, the guy, he told me his name. I went and looked him up, and I was like, okay, this is a real guy.
At least he used a real name, right?
Yeah. But it was at the National Prescription Drug and Heroin Summit in Atlanta, and yeah, I got to sit on a panel with him and you know, tell him what it's like to be a mother in active addiction and a mother in recovery, and what has helped me, and it was just amazing. So amazing. I'll never forget it, obviously.
I'll never forget seeing the picture like, wait, we know her. And then you've had some pretty amazing, an article printed?
Yes. Which one? Which one are you talking about?
You've had several of them. I was referring to the Cosmo one.
Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty cool. That was actually I talked to the woman from Cosmo 3 different times for like 2.5 hours each time. And she asked me everything from the time I started smoking pot at 12 up into my last run in addiction, and it was exhausting. But like, and the things I'd be like, oh my God, like,
did I really do all this?
I did that. I'm saying that out loud. I really did that stuff. But it turned out really well, and yeah, it was a really good article.
Yeah, it was. You've had some other good ones too. I mean, you know, a lot of people respect and can see, and just like the reasons you said, you know, you're a mother and you've got children, and that's a hard thing to overcome, especially when you're dealing with addiction, and what do you do with the children, and how do I go get help, and you know,
yeah.
What would you say to other parents out there that are in a situation, you know, what were things that were helpful that helped you make that decision on, you know, what were thoughts that went through your head, like, you know, so many people say, I can't leave my children, but I've got to go get help, you know, well,
it's the best thing that you can ever do for your children. I was lucky. I have a family that put up with my crap all of those years and was always there to support me every time I was like, I'm for real, I'm quitting drugs this time. But, you know, when people are apprehensive about that, I am always like, you know, you have to do this. You might be away from your kids for, you know, 30, 90 days, however long, but it's going to be worth it in the long run when you succeed in recovery long term. Because, I mean, people are dying. They're overdosing out there, and they're leaving kids behind, and it breaks my heart. I was at a funeral about a month ago here in Mansfield, and it was a woman that had overdosed, and her little kids were there running around, and it just, I didn't even know her that well, but I just empathized. Yeah, I was like, oh my God, that could have been my kids at any time. So it's worth it to go inpatient, outpatient, anything. It's worth it to be away from them for a little while.
You know, one thing I always tell people when you know, they bring up their kids, and you know, a lot of times, you know, the kids won't even be at that time involved in the, you know, in the parent's life, and you know, it'll come down to that, like the harsh reality. I'll just flat out ask them. I'll say, you know, well, what kind of mother or father are you being right now?
Correct.
Exactly.
You know,
what was that moment of clarity? Crystal, this is Robin. How you doing?
Hi, I'm good.
I'm just curious. What was that moment of clarity like for you when you realized that you needed to go to treatment and you had to make that choice to leave your children behind?
For me, it was, I mean, it's never too late, but my son is 18 now, and I just kind of realized one day, like, oh my God, he's almost an adult himself now, and he's going to be out in the world by himself, and I've wasted all this time. Like, it's time for me to get my act together so that I can at least help him be an adult now. So it was that, and I mean, I have an 11-year-old daughter too, and, you know, I wasn't teaching her anything to, you know, to be a good woman, no empowerment, nothing. She watched me in abusive relationships, and so it was that, both of those factors.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for asking.
So I know that there, you know, one thing that I love is, you know, at one point in my life, several years ago, I thought that the only way for people to get sobriety was not taking any kind of maintenance or anything. And, you know, over the years, that has changed tremendously as time goes on, for the fact that the amount of people that are dying, and, you know, at some point, you know, probably a year and a half ago, came to the conclusion, like, who cares what it is that it takes for someone to be able to stay off of whatever and to be able to maintain their life and not die. And, you know, I want to thank you, because you were one of the biggest advocates for that. And I learned a lot just by listening to you. Yeah,
me too. Me too. You opened my mind up a lot to that.
Thank you. Yeah, and it's hard. It's still hard for me too, because I know the stigma around medication-assisted treatment, but the thing I always say is, don't focus on the medication part. Focus on the treatment, because there has to be treatment. You can't just take a medication, and think you're going to be okay. There's so much more to recovery. But that is the pathway that I chose, and it's working for me. I've tried it before, and it hasn't worked. So it's partly where I'm at in my life. But yeah, I don't know. It's hard. It's still hard to talk about. Like when I go to speak somewhere, I'm always like, do they know that? Do they know that I'm on Suboxone? I don't know.
And I think that that should not be a prerequisite that people even need to know, ask, or wonder. You know what I mean? Like,
true.
Like,
quality of life.
Everybody is so concerned on what everyone else is doing. Worry about what you're doing and what works for you. And as long as whatever that person's doing is working for them, and they're not going to die, be happy for them.
That's right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Crystal, I have one more question for you, if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
In your sobriety, are there things that you've discovered about yourself, talents or whatnot, that you were not aware of, beforehand? Like for myself, I found that I like to write and poetry and things of that nature, and as there are profound things that I never knew about myself while I was using, or I didn't have the
time to figure it out.
I learned I was a gourmet chef.
I didn't have a desire to do that kind of thing, but when I sobered up and my mind cleared up, those things came out. And there's addicts and alcoholics are very smart people, in my opinion, and we have transferable skills that we can apply in every area of our life. And I'm just curious, what have you discovered about yourself in your sobriety?
Little things that I never really developed, like you said, writing. I like to paint and different artsy things. But one thing that I was, like when you asked it, I was like, oh God, I don't know. I
didn't find one.
Apparently you're a good writer. I'm lucky I can put two sentences together.
In active addiction, it's a nasty world, and everyone's out for themselves, and there was always, I hated other women, and I was jealous of them, or just didn't like them for whatever reason. And now I'm the opposite. I talk about lifting up other women and being supportive and just being there for each other.
It's not a competition anymore.
Right. Yeah.
No, and that's one thing that I love about you when we are at events. Women relate to you, and they run up to you, and you know what I mean? Like, you've made them not scared, I guess would be a good way of putting it, because they've seen the progress with you, and they want to start, you know what I mean? They want to follow in whatever it is that's working for you. And I mean, that's a super big honor.
Mike just mentioned something in the comments.
Mike Pack, Mr. Pack.
Mike Pack.
You do. I'm sure you weren't running 5Ks while you were out getting high, were you, Crystal?
Into what?
Running for the police, baby.
Running 5Ks, running 5Ks with Holly. I'm sure you weren't doing that when you were out getting high, were you?
Well, maybe on her way trying to get the drugs, it might have been a 5K. But
Running from the
police.
So we are going to be up in Ohio on the 25th. We're going to make an appearance at both Portsmouth and try to stop by as well as in Marion. And then we actually have an event that we're doing the 23rd, 24th, and 25th up in Ohio with
Full Throttle Saloon.
With Full Throttle Saloon is we're teaming up on a couple events, getting knowledge out there, awareness, and they're putting I can't wait to share with our Ohio advocates up there, putting together during Bike Week up there a hog roast, sober hog roast, bike run, a poker thing, And all the things are going to be donated to helping either get people on planes if they need to be on a plane, if they need, you know, whatever it is. It's all going to be designated to help and you know, get people the help that they need that we can. So, you know, I'm going to be letting you know when all that is, the dates of that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'll be there for sure.
It's amazing the things we can do and have fun in recovery, doing it sober.
It really is.
You know,
yes.
The only thing we can't do is do drugs and drink. I mean, everything else,
right.
You know, is fully accessible to us, and life is good sober. I really,
yes.
You know, yeah. I mean, I really don't want to elaborate too much.
I can remember one thing. Frank, you know, would always think, well, I'm not going to be able to write music anymore. I'm not going to write poems. I'm not going to be able to flow. I'm not going to be able to. And it was Memorial Day. It'll be 4 years this Memorial Day, won't it?
Yeah.
When we had a big sober get together.
Frankie got flow for real.
We were new, you know, just had put ourselves together and had been in existence for about 3 months and had a big sober get together over Memorial Day and
just got our first pack of F heroin stickers.
Yeah, and he was. I put the video up every once in a while just to show, you know, that they were doing rap battles, having fun, being crazy,
right.
and you know, pushing each other around in shopping carts at
Shopping
Walmart.
I can see that.
You know, bowling in the alleys at Walmart.
Riding flaming skateboards off of roofs.
I'm not sure they're even allowed in Walmart still.
Banned for life. You know, every musician that I've ever spoken to says that they feared that their creativity would be hindered, but once they sobered up, they found out that
it was even better.
It was better, you know, and they had videos up on YouTube and whatnot. They took them down because they viewed them as horrendous. You know, they didn't like looking at themselves in that state of mind, thinking that they were all that.
They were all that.
Yeah.
But you do, you know. I mean,
you live in an altered state of reality. And
I've
think
said
you're all
this
that.
before, you know, and you know, you see a picture and you know that you were telling everyone you were perfectly fine, and then you look back at it and it's like,
Guilty.
oh my God, like who could have even believed that? You know, like
Guilty.
look at this picture.
That's me. Look fine.
So what would you like to share as far as, you know, to the people out there that are scared to make a change in their life?
Don't be scared. I mean, it is scary, but don't be scared. There's so many people out here that are nice and want to help, and it's so worth it. It really is. And like, I really want people that, you know, in active addiction to believe and know this, that we're not full of crap and we're not just saying this. It really is so worth it. It's such a better life. I didn't believe that until 2 years ago, so.
You've got a couple, you've got some pages on Facebook that you put up a lot of just sharing different concepts of things that are going on that day or you know, tearing apart different steps sometimes. What are, go ahead and tell us what those pages are so people can find them.
Okay, one is called Erase the Shame, and that is, I don't know, that's just a regular page. And then I have another, it's a group page, public group page. It's called Real Talk with Crystal. And then just my regular Facebook page under my name. I share stuff on all three of those.
So, yeah, there's some powerful things on there, you know. If I always encourage people, if you're having a weak moment or whatever, you can get on Facebook. And
Exactly.
And there's so many good things that you can find, you know, to change your perception or help you get out of that mood right at that moment. And
with all the videos going up, it's like having a speaker meeting at your disposal at any time.
You know, people.
It really is.
There's some people, or a lot of
Especially
times.
with Robin on there.
I am not that guy.
If there was a timeout because you do too much on Facebook, they'd say, timeout.
Yeah.
But, you know, so many people are getting on Facebook saying, you know, I'm sick of seeing these live videos, you know, blah, 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 blah. I guess you know, if I don't want to see something, I just scroll past it. I don't waste my time. I don't make a comment.
You know what I'm sick of seeing? And if you're sick of seeing live videos from recovering advocates, go call your sponsor, whatever. I'm sick of seeing people die, and I'm not going to stop doing what I'm doing. Pretty sure Robin's not going to stop doing what he's doing, or any of us here. I mean, so if you're sick of it, call your sponsor or block me.
I'll tell you right now what I'm sick of seeing, and I refuse to watch it, is the people filming overdoses. You know, you should be using your phone to call 911 instead of, you know, filming footage of someone dying or nearly dying because you don't think their life is worth much more than that. Exactly. Despicable, disgusting.
You know, some towns have their I don't know what it's called. Scanner.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like
the police scanner?
Well, it's not the police scanner. It's like people that will listen to it and then post, you know, like all the sirens over such and such road, and then
busybodies.
Yeah, then people get on and they'll be like, oh, that's over by such and such's. Oh, they're a bunch of drug dealers. You know, and there's like all this assumption going on. And
what would you expect from that neighborhood?
Yeah, right. And you know, then you come to find out afterwards as it gets through, and they find out what it was. It was, you know, an elderly person that fell, or so. You know what I mean? Like,
blowing it out.
People feed into so much into the negative, or I don't know.
The doom and gloom, man. People feed on that. I mean, in today's world, you know, they like seeing someone suffer. Or
well, you know, misery loves company.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just like all these crappy reality shows. You know what I mean? Like,
No kidding.
why do people watch the Kardashians? Because their own life sucks. You know what I mean?
Living vicariously through someone else.
Well, people watch car races just for the crashes.
Exactly. I wasted 4 hours waiting for a crash. or hockey, waiting for a fight.
Yeah.
What's the weather doing up there?
Oh, it's so cold.
Is it? It's been a weird winter up
Cold.
there.
It's frigid here too.
Not.
Frigid there was like 60. I remember when I lived in Florida, if it got down to 60, I was wearing a sweater.
It's been a weird winter though. It did get down to 48 and 50 something a couple nights.
Yeah, it was brutal.
A couple nights we had to flip the furnace on for about 20 minutes.
Who was it that I said that to the other day? Do I have one?
Yeah.
Did I ask you that?
Yeah, you were telling me the story about.
Robin's like, I had to flip the furnace on, and I said,
do I have one?
I'm like, I don't know if I have one.
She lives in a real nice condo.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it comes with one too.
But thank you so much for being on, Crystal.
We love you, Crystal.
We'll have you back on again. We're
you.
getting ready to go to break. We will see you the 25th.
I'm looking forward to meeting you, Crystal. Give me a big old hug.
Yes, you too. I love you guys.
Love you. 954-524-8000. We'll be back right after break, guys.
This is RecoveryRadio.fm on WVDR, Lantana, West Palm Beach, Lake Worth, Boca Raton, Delray, and all of the Palm Beaches. Always raw, always real.
Dear Daddy, I'm writing you this letter to tell you that I miss you and I hope you're doing better. My little brother, he's getting so big and we wonder when we can see you again. I guess we'll have to just wait and see. I got my report card, A's and B's. You're probably so proud of me. Mama is too, but she's sound asleep. We had a long day, got behind on bills, and Mama cried cause she found your pills. I guess it brought back old memories, but I forgive you, Dad, between you and me. I hope you can see what you mean to us. When I go to sleep, I dream of us. You're my hero, Dad, so big and tough, and I love you, Daddy, love your son.
I may not wear a cape or shoelaces from my eyes, but there's a tear for each mistake. As I come to realize I am a hero, a hero to you. In your eyes I'm super. I couldn't leave your love in a single bound. I know all about being bulletproof, whiskey bent and hellbound, but I'm still a hero, a hero to you.
Mama said that you're doing better, got off the pills and got your life together. And little brother, he's talking now, but you the only thing that we talk about. I'm playing ball, shooting hoops, just like you taught me, trying to be like you, just to make you proud. I hope to see you soon, cause I love you, Daddy, all the way to the moon. Mama smiled when she heard the news, cause she knew this time you was telling the truth. I guess you learned what it's like to lose when you crash and burn, no parachute. I got a whole life to share with you, no daddy in the world could compare to you. And P.S. I love you, Daddy, love your son, write me soon.
I may not wear a cape or shoelaces from my eyes, but there's a tear for each mistake. As I come to realize I am a hero, a hero to you. In your eyes I'm super. I couldn't leave your love in a single bound. I know all about being bulletproof, whiskey bent and hellbound, but I'm still a hero, a hero to you.
Dear son. I got your letters, and I guess you know now that I'm doing better. I know it seems like it's been forever, but it took a little time to get my life together. Seemed like yesterday things were different. I woke up today and everything is missing. My life has changed and it feels like prison, but the letters you wrote kept me from quitting. You were my hero from the very beginning. I love you to the moon, but there ain't no limit. I guess I learned what it's like to lose when I crashed and burned, no parachute. I got a whole life to share with you. No son in the world could
Welcome back
you.
to Shattering the Stigma. 954-524-8000 if you'd like to call in. You can find us 96.1 FM from Pompano to West Palm, 97.5 FM from West Palm to Jupiter, 1340 AM throughout Palm Beach County, on Facebook at recoveryradio.fm, and on the net at recoveryradio.fm, as well as on our Facebook page, F blank 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 Heroin Foundation. Anyways, we have a guest caller on the phone. Mr. Hagar?
Yeah. Trying to recover, man.
Are you there, man?
I'm here, baby. What we doing? What we doing?
What's going on? What's good up there?
Yo. Hey, skittle bop bam. We running right through here, baby, recovering. You heard me? What's Robin? Hey, Robin, you got there, baby? Huh? Robin Hockenbach, let's get it.
I don't know if, are you going?
Hello. There I am. Hey, Drew, what's up, brother?
Hey, man, just want to give a shout out to you, baby. You hear me? We've been here through this whole ride. You've been here since I got loose. You hear me?
That's right.
Redemption Road, baby. I love you, man.
Yeah, that's my Facebook recovery page, Redemption Road.
So we can't wait. Frankie and I were just talking. We don't know if we've met you, actually.
I don't think we
I haven't got to meet you guys. I'm hype about that, man. What about Portsmouth 25th, huh?
Oh,
yeah,
man, stoked, bro.
Hey, I might have some more things to talk to you about. Shoot me your phone number. I've got some things going on also, 23rd, 24th, 25th, if you want to make a little road trip up to Ohio.
Come on, boy. Come on up here.
Whoa, boy. Yeah.
Need a wingman, bro.
Hey, I'm ready to get in the car. You hear me?
You mean you're not going to ride your horse?
Hey, we'd try it if we had to. We'd ride a horse to get some more, wouldn't we?
That's right. That's right.
So you know who I talked to today? That crazy Tiny.
Tiny.
William Lawson, Warriors Project.
Oh, okay. Let's get it.
Yeah.
All right.
I was thinking that we met you possibly the first time we met them a couple summers ago, and then it was like, no, I don't think that he was with them.
Yeah, no, I don't think we met before.
No, we ain't met. I've been following you guys for a grip though. You hear me? I celebrated 3 years last Thursday.
My man.
Nice.
Busy living, aren't
what
you?
What about recovery, man? Lost dreams awaken. Look here.
That's
Things
right.
you never thought possible, and look at us now. You hear me? Making a difference out there. The unity in it.
The thing is, we were just talking about people don't believe that you can have fun in recovery, and I've watched your videos.
You
look like you're having a whole lot of fun.
Yes.
It's just blessings after blessings, and why not have fun? And I said this last night to the doc. Abraham Lincoln said, "A man is happy as he makes his mind up to be." So look here, I'm not on dope today, all right? I'm not waking up dope sick, trying to figure out who I got to do this to, who I got to do that to get one more. I'm not harming my family today. I'm in the Christmas pictures today. You know what I mean? And Thanksgiving,
Right.
Real talk.
Santa even brought you presents this year, huh?
Yeah.
We could hang on to them. We'd have to take them back.
Right. I didn't have to push a buggy out of Wally World or nothing.
Right.
I actually went and paid for them. Real talk.
That's right.
But life is good, man. And, yeah, I've been checking you guys out for a minute, man. And thank you guys for everything you do.
No, thank you for what you do.
Whoop, whoop, skittlebop.
Skittlebop. Is Todd Barrick there with you?
Now, Todd, he's over in Anderson County. I'm down here in Little Versailles,
Yeah.
Getting ready for work in the morning.
Wow. I want to give a shout out to Todd Barrick. You two are like the dynamic duo. And James Sweezy.
Right.
Sweezy.
Real quick,
man. Yeah, James Sweety's my dude, man. James, you know, and he started it, you know, and he came at me. I was running through Burlington Coat Factory. He thought it was Walmart. And then, you know, I said, right? And I just, you know, went live, and I was like, I don't got to come here and steal this. Sleep it out. And, you know, don't got to live like that today. And it's all through recovery, man. Just so people to start believing in you and you believe in yourself, man, the unity.
You know what I love?
It's about, man.
I love that we are all on the same mission, but we all bring different, you know, personalities, perception, ideas, and I mean that's amazing. And that's the fact is recovery isn't one way, and it doesn't work the same for everybody. And just seeing all these different personalities and what we bring to the picture, and the hope that they can see, you know, it's just beautiful.
Trying to recover, man.
That's right.
It really is, like, you know, the hope across the board, like you're talking about, because we all are different. And, you know, early on I caught a lot of stuff, you know, through the fellowship that I'm in, you know, in the hometown here. And you know, the thing is, my truth might not be your truth. And it, you know, and it's on me, you know. It's where I want to go with it, you know, and I watch the traditions and so forth and so on. But this is my life. And if I choose to do so, the God of my understanding is going to let me.
Yeah.
Hear me? Stay humble. I'm just saying, you know, I'm going to stay humble and keep living. I'm living today, y'all.
Yes, you are.
I know what I'm talking about.
Feels good to smile,
to be a part of my life.
I got to say, your energy is contagious, bro. That time we did that video together, the live feed, that was off the chain, bro.
Hey, we was off the hook, wasn't we, Robin?
Yes, sir.
I'm loving it.
What kind of energy drink do you drink? I'm going to try that.
Well, you know, I'm just doing the coffee on the regular, you hear me?
On the regular.
A whole cup of coffee.
High octane.
Yes, sir. Oh, boy.
Good stuff.
So I need to get with you, Mom Dukes, for real.
Yes.
Check this out, because I'm trying to ride.
Look,
I'll pass along your phone number to her.
I'm going to be getting a hold of you, and we got some stuff going on up there.
Word, that's what I'm talking about.
That's right.
And thank you guys, man. I love what you're doing. Robin, I love you, bro.
I love you too, man.
Thank you for what you do, and we love you, man.
You've been huge in my recovery. Thank you.
Love you guys.
Talk to you soon, brother.
Get a bop.
Get a bop. Get a bop. Love that guy, man. Love him. Love you too, Todd.
We have a caller on the phone. Mr. Pack, is this you?
Hey, Mama.
The one and only.
Michael Pack, recovery advocate.
Hardest working man in Ohio, recovery.
That's right.
What's going on, Mike?
Well, I heard everything's good. I heard Robin calling in about, I was calling in because Robin was talking about the VA, you know, and when I met you guys, I helped start the AA meeting at the Chillicothe VA, and I was sponsoring some veterans there. And the Dayton VA here in Ohio, I used to volunteer there, and they closed the program down, and they have a phenomenal recovery program in Chillicothe, Ohio for veterans, and a lot of people don't know it. You know, 22 veterans a day commit suicide, and I did the 22 a day kill challenge to help support them guys, and it's phenomenal. And I know that Chillicothe needs a lot of help, and I'm going to be there Friday and interview Cheryl Beverly. Me and Tilo did a rally at the Harley shop there earlier this year to support her house. And, you know, A&E's been in Chillicothe, Ohio. Sam Quinones has been there. Discovery ID did a video, 6 women come up missing. Their health department had the levee fell, and they can't give out Narcan. And Cheryl Beverly started the Where Was I house for pregnant mothers right downtown on the square, and she spoke with Bill Clinton as well, and she's doing a town hall meeting March 20th. And she asked me in private messenger, because she's a friend of mine, if the radio show or the foundation could come and cover that, and they need some more attention down there. I mean, that city had to tear down the park benches and bus stops to stop the prostitution from girls trying to get drugs, you know. And,
wow.
You know, and it's horrible. And I'm going on tour through southern Ohio this weekend, and I'm going to be in Portsmouth, Ohio, helping promote Ohio's National March Against Heroin. I'm going to be interviewing the health department. They have a needle exchange there. I'm a fan of that. And Sarah G. from Serenity Street is going to help me, and we're going to go around to Port 45 recovery, and I'm going to bounce over to Ironton, Ohio. I'm friends with a lot of bikers. A lot of people don't know it. The national president of the Outlaws is from Ohio, and they support recovery, and they have their own recovery group, and it's called the Outcast. And I'm going to go see the Sons of Sobriety, and I'm going to spend all weekend going live as much as possible to let America know what's going on in Southern Ohio and what those issues are down there in that area. And tomorrow, I'm petitioning the governor for the third time.
Get him, Mike. Get him.
Weber. You there, guys?
Yeah. With silence,
We're here.
radio
You there?
silence. Are you there?
You know? Yeah, I'm here, Holmes. Love you, man. Love you, Robin.
Love you, Mike.
Love
Love you,
Redemption
buddy.
Road. I call Rex every night. You know, that's my main man.
Yep.
You're the co-host.
You know, just like Andrew and Todd run together, me and Rex Silverback run together, and
In separate states.
A lot of running.
Yep. Yep.
I think
And
Mike's doing the running. He's like the ever-ready bunny.
Mike, I just want to thank you for everything you're doing for the state of Ohio. You know?
Yeah, you do a lot.
You're
do a lot.
everywhere, and you give, so much of your time, and it's hard to find someone that, does those things, strictly out of their heart for the right reasons, and you're all about that, and I know you, and I know your motives are pure and clean, and I just want to tell you I love you and I appreciate you. Thank you.
Yeah, me too, man. We love you, buddy.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I love you guys, man. And I'm trying to drum up some support for the Bike Week rally up here in Ohio, and I'm anxious to meet the GOAT, and I'm thankful for all the opportunities that the foundation gets me. I'm a gearhead, and see Andrew and Todd Friday and everybody, and
Andrew was just on. Did you hear him?
Yeah, he's my buddy. I shared his first video he ever made in a garage. And, I love him.
He made it in the garage, or you shared it in a garage?
Oh my!
No, he made it in the garage. Yeah, back in his garage days, I think about that all the time.
He moved up to Burlington. He said,
day.
running through Burlington.
That's the first video I seen. He was in Burlington's store.
But that's
Yeah,
cool.
I'll tell you one thing. Larry the Cable Guy doesn't have anything on Andrew Hagar.
Nothing. Nope. That turkey he does is hilarious.
That's great.
But look, Mike, we have a caller on the phone. Love you, man.
Love you, brother.
I will
I just
talk
want
to
call
you
in and
soon.
support my team.
Thanks for
And
all
love you,
you
Bob.
do.
Bye.
Hello, Rick.
Yes, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Oh, fabulous. Now, this is my first time ever listening to you guys. 'Cause, just a few weeks ago, I was, accepted or invited into the Warriors.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Yeah, and that was through Cherie. And also, I've been also talking lately with this, Mandy down in Ohio.
Mandy Reinhardt.
Mandy Reinhardt.
Yo, Mandy.
Yeah.
We love you, Mandy.
And I love her too because she's shared a lot with me in the last few days because we're all on Facebook together. And when I was invited to a few weeks ago to what was the Sober Bowl party here in Warren, Michigan, I went there to meet Cherie there.
I know Cherie.
And what really floored me is that I thought when I got there and to talk with her, I thought maybe, well, she knows a lot of other people there, so I'll only talk to her like 10 or 15 minutes, and then watch, of course, the Super Bowl game, because that was, I guess, the highlight of the thing.
Imagine that.
How dumb am I, right? For the reason that, I thought 10 or 15 minutes, well, her and I were there for 2.5 hours talking with each other and eating together and everything else. And I asked her, I says, I'm sorry if I'm keeping you from anybody, any friends of yours here. And she goes, no, really, I don't know anybody, too many people here, but I definitely came here to meet and talk with you. And I just, what? I never met her before, but we had such everything in common, maybe in a different 180-degree, excuse me, I'm coughing a lot because I'm really sick right now. But I just finished myself in the hospital yesterday, and I did what we say in our meetings is that you got to have balance outside of, the meetings is by definitely taking care of your health. And yesterday I was at the point that I felt like I almost died because I couldn't breathe. I kept coughing, and I thought I had pneumonia, which can definitely kill you if you don't take care of it. But also, when I got out of it, and I'm thinking, my God, am I understanding that I ain't got pneumonia, right? Well, what I do have is two different things, which is chronic bronchitis since I was a little kid, and I probably won't get rid of it. And I also got COPD, together. So I got double the bullshit, you might say, if I can say that. And now COPD, as I've had for a few years, and the problem with that is that I'm still smoking, which in turn keeps it going, But that drug of choice, it's harder for me to quit than any drugs I've taken for 47 straight years of addiction of my 61 years life. So to me, it's really it was easier for me to put down the drugs, no matter what I used, more so
than the cigarettes.
Than the cigarettes, right? So because I've been smoking since I was 7 years old, and now I'm 61 and still smoking.
Wow.
And so that's really crazy addiction now in my book, and everybody else. And everybody keeps telling me, well, there's only one thing you gotta change, and that's everything. And we take baby steps one at a time, So this is something that, my mind just says, oh, to hell with you. One more. And my brain's listening.
Well, look, Rick, we're on here every Wednesday night, and actually, several nights a week. You can tune in, and on Tuesday and Thursday nights, as well as Andrew. I don't know if you were listening earlier. He does a show on Friday nights, every night at 8:00. Indian Bob does a show, so there's a lot of recovery and a lot of support you can find, tuning in.
FR on After Dark with Steve Orona.
Yeah, we do.
If I can just have a few more minutes, though.
Yeah.
I don't know how busy you are because this is my first time. But I didn't understand, whatever your format was, even though I heard a few of them, and I really, really identify with them. Is the last guy that was just talking about bikers and that. I'm out of the Western Wayne area here, and up in I'm outside Detroit. Where are you guys actually at right now?
We are in
Delray, Florida.
Boynton Beach, Delray
Florida,
border in Florida. But we are, three of us are from Ohio originally, and Rex, we don't know where Rex came from, another planet. But we're in Ohio a lot. We do a lot with the Michigan. We've got a lot of people that we do things with in Michigan.
M.I. Hope.
Yeah. M.I. Hope. I don't know if you know Stacy.
Stacy's my girl. I love her.
I'm not sure because I'm getting acquainted with these people, but right now, I've seen Crystal on our Facebook. I haven't talked with her yet, but I've only talked to Sherry and Mandy right now, and we're getting to know each other through Facebook. But Mandy also put on this thing, celebration thing going on down and around Toledo here soon. Which she invited us, of course, through Facebook to come on down. And when I heard you say something about, I thought you guys were in Ohio right now, but taking a road trip wherever.
Well,
I was thinking
that was Mike. That was Mike that called in, and he works with us, and he is in Marion, Ohio, and he was talking about going down to Ironton and stuff, but. When we come back after the break, we're gonna announce who our guest is next week and some of the stuff that we've got going on with that. So please stay tuned, and we'd love to have you come back every week and follow some of the other shows as well.
Well, what I'm going to try to say is that whoever is in our area of here around outside of Detroit or in the area, if anybody's going down to that Toledo thing that's coming up, I'd definitely like to get somehow in contact with them because I don't have the transportation to get down there. But I don't know. Do you know if it's a one-day affair, a weekend day affair, or what?
You know, I honestly don't know because...
The best thing to do would be to go on Mandy's page and go on to the event and post in the event that you would be looking for transportation to the event. And if anyone's headed, you know what I mean? That would be your best bet, though, because everyone that's in that event would be, you know, some from Michigan, some from Ohio. But
so one thing I'd like to say is that when this guy was talking about, you know, the bike rides around, I know a lot of bikers up here and also in different gangs, you know, sober and sobriety gangs that go all over, and some of them do go down south, and a few of them I know that get together on their bikes. We go out to that South Dakota or North Dakota, whatever.
Hey, Rick. They're telling us we got to take a break. We got to go on break.
Thanks for calling in, sir.
Thank you so much, and keep following.
We hope to see you up there, man.
Let me give my son a kiss before I leave home. Tell him be a good boy, be strong for your mom. You the man of the house. Boy, listen here, make daddy proud. I hang my head down, walk to the car, and then I turn around like choices that we make, gotta live with that. Consequences that we face, I gotta live with it. The risks that we take, gotta live with it. I do it every day. It's the choices that we make, I gotta live with it. Consequences that we face, I gotta live with it. The risks that we take, gotta live with it. Do it every day. My brother came home, he was in a bad mood. His job slowing down, he don't know what to do. Plus he had a baby, she was only 2, and I was 18, fresh out of school. We got into a fight, and it was pretty bad. In the middle of the night, he packed all his bags. I never said a word, he walked out the door, never to return. The very next morning, my mama got a phone call, I'm sorry to inform you, but your oldest son died. He was shot in the head, he was there when we arrived. My mama on her knees praying to the Lord above us. I really can't believe I lost my big brother. I never said goodbye, I never told him sorry. Lord, tell me why. It's the choices that we make, gotta live with that. Consequences that we face, I gotta live with it. The risks that we take, gotta live with it. I do it every day. It's the choices that we make, I gotta live with it. Consequences that we face, I gotta live with it. The risks that we take, gotta live with it. Do it every day. At a party with my girl, we out kinda late. Tonight's her birthday, so we had to celebrate. I buy another drink right before we leave. As we walk out the door, she hands me the key. It's getting kinda blurry, so I slow down, but my baby says hurry. I had a bad feeling, I woke up on the road, can't believe what I'm seeing. Cause that's my girl, she's my life, my whole world, soon to be wife. Blood all around and my girl ain't moving. I'm crawling on the ground screaming, baby don't lose it. Baby hold on, yeah I'm right here. But as I get closer, it becomes clear. It's the choices that we make, gotta live with that. Consequences that we face, I gotta live with it. The risks that we take, gotta live with it. I do it every day. It's the choices that we make, I gotta live with it. Consequences that we face, I gotta live with it. The risks that we take, gotta live with it. Do it every day. I
Technology is making the things around us smarter than ever before. It's making our day-to-day easier. And now, what powers those things is Smart 2. With the smart technology behind FPL's online energy dashboard, you can keep track of your energy use. And when you take the free online home energy survey, you'll see where you're using the most energy and find smart, new ways to save up to $250 a year. Visit fpl.com/easy to save and learn how to make your bill even lower.
Hey guys, James Sweezy here. Real quick, if you're experiencing daily fatigue or having trouble sleeping, I found a product that was designed to help improve symptoms associated with post-acute withdrawal syndrome. TheLiquidRecovery.com provides supplements designed by people in recovery for people in recovery. The AM formula helps to improve energy and supports natural relief from brain fog. The PM formula helps support natural sleep so you can fall asleep and stay asleep, and it helps reduce feelings of anxiety or irritability. The folks at TheLiquidRecovery.com want to be clear that this product will not get you clean and sober. It's simply another tool for your toolbox to help combat fatigue and sleeplessness. Order now at www.theliquidrecovery.com and be sure to enter the discount code RADIO for free shipping. That's www.theliquidrecovery.com. James Sweezy, I'm out.
When it's never quit. Yeah. Yeah. My mic on?
They say, stoop kid, you afraid to leave your stoop. But I got this beat in my headphones playing on the loop. Working on my craft, get it in with my rhyme pad. Teachers thought I was dumb, didn't know where my mind at. It was all I had, sports didn't provide a creative outlet for me to show what's inside. I can't even lie, since 12 I wanna die. But this music keeps me going and I don't know why. But I think I got my explanation. Soon as I started writing to make a real statement, all of a sudden I gained a reputation, and I could be somebody that would uplift the nation. Yeah.
Welcome back to Shattering the Stigma. That was Tilo, Antonio Lopez, on the song Coming Back In, and just before that was My Hero by Newbury. 954-524-8000 if you'd like to call in and ask any questions. You can find us on 96.1 FM from Pompano to West Palm, 97. FM from West Palm to Jupiter, 1340 AM throughout Palm Beach County, as well as Facebook at recoveryradio.fm and on the net, recoveryradio.fm and F blank 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 Heroin Foundation on Facebook. So, Shattering the Stigma. I've got an announcement that I want to make. Next week, our guest is going to be Goat from Full Throttle Saloon.
Right on.
And we're going to be doing some things. One of the main things that we've got going on is a few events in Ohio, which we'll talk about next week. We're going to be in Findlay on the 24th, Genoa the 23rd, Toledo the 25th with him, and also in Daytona at Bike Week. We're going to be doing some things. We're trying to work something out here to be doing it as a live remote. It looks like we're going to be able to make that happen. Robin, you're going to be walking around interviewing people, doing what you love to do.
Gonna have Robin Higginbotham.
Nice.
And then we got the Silverback. He'll be walking around, probably doing the same things.
Yep.
Trying to outdo each other. And
Silver Savage will be in the house.
Yo.
Kelly might be coming down from Ohio, as well as Mike Pack. Oh my goodness.
We'll have Stephanie there. We'll have the whole team there, guys.
Whole crew.
It's going to be fantastic.
Going to be mingling 40,000 people plus a day that we can just
That's right.
give hope, inspiration, spread the message to. So, before we went on break, well, when we first started, and then we had a guest and some phone calls. But Robin, we were talking about
veterans.
I
put together a company called A Vision for Veterans Incorporated. currently have a contract with a medical center down here. And the goal for the company is to employ military veterans, to give them opportunities, employment opportunities to get back on their feet. And I'm in the beginning stages of this, and I want to cater to the homeless veterans population, those struggling with substance abuse issues and mental health issues, and they're such an under
represented.
There's not enough services out there to
not at all.
Support them in reentering, society, coming back from their deployments, or trying to reintegrate back into society if they've spent time being homeless, living outdoors. And I want to give that opportunity to people to give them a hand up and not a handout. And if anyone out in the West Palm Beach area has any input on that, on how I can grow my company, I'd welcome that. I'd like to grow it into a nonprofit eventually, to add some programs to it, to train them in different areas where they can
like different vocations.
Vocations, employment training.
One of the backgrounds of what I did in Ohio when I was working in social work, and a lot of people, and this is for employers out there, a lot of people don't know this. If you fill out a form when you hire somebody,
the tax credit,
mm-hmm. A person that is a felon, an addict, a veteran, disabled, mm-hmm. any of those type of things, mm-hmm. you can get up to, and again, you have to talk to your accountant who takes care of your things, because obviously it depends on
$75,000.
Well, it's up to $11,000 tax credit per year.
Okay.
And I say up to because a lot of it has to do with what kind of work it is, what job it is, what kind of hours they're working, money-wise. And those are things you'd have to talk to your accountant to do with the business that you're doing the hiring for. But, what better way for a business, and I think all businesses should at least have a certain percentage that they're giving back to, and giving that chance to, so what, a person may have screwed up, or a person, might have a disability, or a person could have that. You give them a chance. So many of them are the best workers they're ever going to get.
Yeah, it's true.
A lot of the veterans populations, due to the fact that they haven't been given the recognition, have found themselves to be felons. And I am a graduate of a mentoring program for ex-offenders, and I've mentored to ex-offenders, and I would like to incorporate that into my business as well, to get them bonded, so that employers are set at ease that they're not going to be stolen from. Mm-hmm. And a lot of us in recovery and in the workplace try to excel. We feel like we need to redeem ourselves, and we are the hardest, most loyal workers that you will ever find. And I know for myself, I've took pride in my work, and I've been given a lot of opportunities due to the fact, I was a veteran, and I was able to display my work ethic and promote myself that way.
Absolutely.
And I want to give that opportunity to other veterans out there, and give them an opportunity to have a life. Recovery has provided a lot of things for me, and the ability to move past my issues and how to address them. And I just believe that veterans in recovery deserve that opportunity.
I agree.
Can I ask you, Robin? This is an issue that's really dear to me. My mother was in the Army. She was a cryptographer during Vietnam era. She stayed stateside and trained other members of other branches and such.
Sure.
In code cracking. And all my uncles were in the
Smart
Navy.
lady.
I could never pull anything over on her.
No, that's right. Remember that story you told me about the
Yeah.
sandwich and tripping on acid?
Oh yeah. And all three of my uncles were in the Navy, and they all had issues. They all had issues of stress and problems, and the VA did not support them enough as it should have. Do you find that there's a lot of members of the military who are coming out of the military who feel as if there's not that many, they don't hold the transferable skills to civilian occupation?
Well, they feel alienated, for one, coming back. I don't know that they feel that they don't have transferable skills, but I really don't know how to put it. But once they were given the opportunity, because with the disorders or issues that they have, a lot of the issues need to be addressed with medication.
Right.
And once they have that little bit of success that they can feel that they can be productive, then a lot of doorways open up for them where they can apply themselves, and they just need to be put in that position where they can be successful and feel that little bit of success to build that self-esteem.
Yeah, it's something that we really, as a country, need to look at, and there is, I believe, this is an issue that I've covered a lot. I've paid attention to a lot, and there is also a stigma there.
Definitely.
Oh yeah.
Definitely. In my opinion, there should be a preference added, during the interview process or the hiring process to, put them at the top, in consideration for jobs, because we have put our lives on the line.
Yes.
And we're not being honored when we come home.
Very true.
It's way different than it was during the Vietnam era, but it can be improved greatly. Once people know that I'm a veteran, that they will shake my hand and say thank you for your service, and that means so much to someone that doesn't have any self-worth.
It's something that could almost be done like affirmative action. You know what I mean? Where like
definitely
at least every company needs to hire X amount of veterans. Or you know what I mean? That would be really cool to see.
I agree.
Yeah.
There's definitely when I lived in England, there was something called the covenant. The covenant that the government had with the military, members of the military. They came and they served, and the government was supposed to honor that in their duty of care to the veterans, whether they were combat veterans or just support. And it was a huge issue.
Sure.
With them doing it or not
they don't follow through.
Yeah.
I mean, things are often put on the table, and they just don't honor that.
Yeah.
Which is a shame.
It is.
So, with that being said, we've got one heck of a March coming up, guys.
Yes, we do.
Are we going to get to sleep? I was telling somebody the other day, people...
we need an energy drink sponsor, so if anybody out there...
Yeah, we definitely need a sponsor out there for that.
Pull the truck up. We got you.
But I was telling somebody the other day, I don't even need to be made a duplicate of. I need to figure out how to make 3 of myself.
Yeah.
1 to have a life and just go out and have fun, and 1 to be on ground and do the things I want to do, and the other 1 to do the traveling and the outreach and the speaking. And I haven't figured that out yet. But I figured, I might as well go big instead of duplicating. I'm going to have that 3rd one.
The triplicates.
Yeah, the 3rd. That could be scary for a lot of people.
Come on, son.
I want to give you props
most so for my son, though.
Yeah.
People don't understand the life of a recovery advocate that's really trying to help and make a difference. And I've been behind the scenes for a while, and you do not sleep. If someone calls you in the middle of the night, I mean, the amount of energy you put into just one person is phenomenal. And when you're trying to get 10, 15, 20 people into treatment at one time, it can be overwhelming. And you don't have a life, and you spend your time trying to help other people save their lives. So I want to give you props, because you're an amazing lady, for real. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, just the energy you had to put into my butt.
I'll admit it. I've had to kick his butt a few times, but it was out of love.
The labor of love.
Out of love.
Yeah, I know I will never, ever cross her, ever. She's Italian. Just put it that way.
Italian and a Scorpio. You put those two things together. When I'm mad, it takes a minute, but...
yeah.
Oh, I've had people say,
she doesn't hide it well.
Repeat what you just said. I cannot repeat what I just said. I don't know what I just said, but if you ask me, I'm going to get madder and say even more. But
I used to have seasoned veteran, like, hardcore drug dealers done multiple bids in prison and be like, yo, I ain't coming on your block, bro. Your mama's crazy.
Right.
Yeah. I have, I don't know, Superman powers, I think, when it comes to protecting people I care about or you know.
True story.
You know, honestly, you know, and a lot of people will tell you this. James, you know, that works with us is one of them. And if you call us, you're in our hearts.
That's right.
It doesn't matter if you're ready. It doesn't matter if you just relapsed. It doesn't matter what the reason is.
We don't shoot or wounded.
No, we will do whatever we can to help you be okay with what's going on. And what I mean by that, you know, as a parent, there was no one for me to call. You know, my son had to be ahead of the time and decide to get into this epidemic before it was an epidemic. So I was dealing with things as a mother 16 years ago when it really wasn't the way that it is right now. And everyone at that time was still doing coke and crack. And since my son had to be ahead of the time, yeah, he had to start with the stuff that's the epidemic now. But, you know, just even that parent that calls in the middle of the night and to be able to say to them, you know, I know your mind's consumed 24/7, whether they're with you or not. You don't get to rest. You don't get to sleep because you're worried about them. And helping them just what I've been through with my own son. And just telling them those things, you know, sometimes on the other end they'll say, I don't even want to hang up because you just made me feel so calm. Yep. You didn't change what's going on, but I feel like
you have that ability.
I have a little bit of more of an understanding. And if nothing else, from what you've told me, I understand my loved one doesn't hate me. And they're not doing this because they don't care about me or they hate me, you know. And you know, we're always available to talk, 419-971-KICK. If there's anything, you know, that we can do, even if you're just having a bad day, you know, give us a call. We've got a lot of people. We'll help you find somebody to help you get to a meeting, people locally in your area to talk to. We've got people across the United States.
There's always somebody that's available, always.
I'd like to give a shout-out to Tammy Brown in Cincinnati,
Oh, we
Ohio.
love Tammy Brown.
She's my BFF up there. She's our go-to up there. She gives of herself, you know, unconditionally. You know, she does things for the right reason. She's a godly woman, and she's been there for me from day one in my recovery. You know, whenever I fell down, she would always pray for me and pick me back up. And I love you, Tammy Brown, if you're out there.
Well, she's out there, but I don't know if she hears us.
Hello, Tammy Brown.
But so I'm really excited about next week. Like I said, Goat's going to be our guest next week, and
release the goat.
He's going to
release the goat.
He's going to bring a different perspective. You know, I'm sure it'll be silly, and he's been a DJ for 30 plus years all over the United States and
stories
and stuff.
He's got to tell.
Yeah, he'll have some stories.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I'm talking to him, and he's like, "Well, I just got off the phone with Nikki Sixx or whatever." You know, they've got the people I grew up listening to, the people you grew up listening to, Robin. You know, the music from that era, and the people that are in recovery. So, you know, we're hoping to bring some of them as guests in the future on here, and just show the wide array of personalities that are out there from all walks of life.
That's right.
You know, doctors, lawyers, bikers, tattoo artists, DJs, who cares what you do?
Addiction does not discriminate. You know, I know police officers that are in recovery. I know a couple of judges that are in recovery.
Yeah, me too. I
know
a judge.
Lawyers. This addiction does not discriminate, you know, and
they actually even have a treatment center that's just for first responders, like, you know, police officers.
Talk about PTSD. Those guys have gone through.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's cool. Their garage actually they have a bell like that they ring at the fire department.
Yeah.
And then like a pole. It's kind of it's cool the way that it is, but it's for, you know, EMS, people from military, people that police officers, anybody in that realm of life.
Thank you all out there that are listening, that are first responders. Thank you for all that you do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I want to definitely get Frankie and I went and had a piece of pizza before we came, and there were a couple officers from Delray Police Department, and you know, they don't get a lot of time to have their break and eat, so didn't want to disturb them. But the young lady police officer was she was one that responded for when I was at Arby's one day going through the drive-through and saw a young man in his car that was an apparent overdose, and we wanted to go over and ask them if they would want to be on the show and just talk about, you know, I can't imagine getting those calls day in and day out over and over and over, and, you know, the EMS people and
the horrific scenes of death.
I can remember when I was a young girl, my uncle was a volunteer EMS, and I remember he came home. I was spending the night at my cousin's, and he came home, and, you know, I was young. I was probably 7 years old, but old enough where you can pick up on someone's demeanor, that something was not right, you know, and he just started crying. You know, it was a car accident, and a little girl had died in the car accident, and I'll just never forget learning at that young age what they must go through. And then, you know, you think about them going to sometimes 5, 6, 7, 8 overdoses a day, and having to deal with that. And
you know, what's sad, though, is I'm sure that, you know, for first responders, I'm sure for them it's a lot like it is for us, where the sad thing is like, you know, yeah, when people I care about, you know, when I lose people I care about to this disease, like, it hurts, but it's to the point where I'm almost desensitized to it because it's happened so many times. Like, yeah, you know, it hurts, but it's not like, oh my God, this happened. It's just like, and I wonder if it gets like that for first responders as well. You know what I mean?
It has to, because it happens so frequently. And me working at a hospital, I had an opportunity to talk to the coroner that comes picks up the bodies, and I asked him point blank, how many people that you pick up from the hospital are young, 30 years of age or younger? And Florida being, you know, a place for the elderly, you know, could come here to retire and whatnot. He said 65% of people that have overdosed are young people.
Wow.
Either to overdose or the criminal activity there, you know, the lifestyle. Takes them out.
Mm.
You know. And,
sad, you know, wiping out a generation.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Andrew Hager, he actually did a live last Saturday, I think it was. He did
from the jail.
He was with the coroner there, and he was talking about how difficult it was. And right before that show, he had to go identify or pick up or whatever coroners do at accidents, that a young mother was pregnant, and he talked about how hard that was. And you know, he still feels that. You know, you can't really block out everything. You know, a young life taken far before their time.
Right. Yeah. You know, I want to give a shout out to Kelly Mangold, Tech Nine, Monkey.
Tech Nine.
She did an article. Well, we've got articles that have been going in the newspaper, and it's I believe it's going to be a 6-part. And I did the first 2 interviews with them, but tomorrow in the Beacon, there's a picture of her actually laying with her head on her son, you know, when he was in the hospital right before he was pronounced dead, and with all the tubes and things. And she did an amazing article on that, and it's on the front page of the Beacon, and it'll also be on the Register. And, you know, we're putting together a show. We're going to have a couple parents that have lost their children to this, and an open discussion on that, and you know, just hoping that it affects at least somebody out there listening to change their mind.
Her little girl is amazing, isn't she?
Yes, she is. Morgan, that little girl, something else. So, anything else you want to say before we wrap up, Robin?
Well, you know, if you got nothing else out of this show we've done, just know that if you're in recovery, that it's very possible to move past those painful experiences and have a very prosperous and fulfilling life if you follow the steps and the guidelines set before you. You know, and I was always looking for the secret, you know, in recovery, and the secret is there is no secret.
The secret is do the work, right?
Yeah, there's no secret. There's nothing hidden, and you can have a very great and rewarding life, and it's so worth it to invest your time in, because I lived a life of self-loathing and, you know, destructive behaviors and turmoil, and I'm able to put things behind me. You know, I figured out that, you know, a lot of my problems was carrying baggage from the past, and in order to stop carrying baggage, you have to stop creating it. You know, leave it at the door when you walk into the rooms, and just deal with the stuff in the past and quit creating more damage and more baggage for you to carry, and the load gets lighter.
And you know, there's a saying, and I don't know if I'm going to say it right, but the gist of it is, if you spend today worrying about what went wrong yesterday,
if you keep one foot in the past and one foot in the future, you're peeing on today.
That's right. And, you know, I can honestly say, you know, I came to recovery late in life, but the only real success I ever had in life was while I was in recovery. And the happiness and the fulfilling experiences that I've had, and the relationships that I've made in recovery are long lasting.
Yeah,
even when I have relapsed, those people, you know, sought me out to pick me up, and I've made a lot of amazing contacts, you know, being a recovery advocate and just being in recovery in general.
Guys, we really want to thank you for being with Shattering the Stigma tonight.
Thank you, Robin. And
come back next week. We look forward. Thank you, Crystal, Robin.
Thanks,
we love you.
No one told you they love you. We love you.
We love you.
F heroin.